Welcome to Fragmented, a software developer podcast where we talk about building good software and becoming better developers. My name's Donn Felker.
And I'm Kaushik Gopal.
Welcome to the show. Hey, before we get going, I wanted to let you all know that Kaushik and I are now putting out videos on YouTube. So be sure to check us out on YouTube. I'm talking about anything that's software development related, also introducing anything that's freelancing related. So if you want to become a freelancer and you're a software developer, I'm the channel for you because I'll be talking about both topics. So anything from billing your clients, how much you should bill, how you can find clients, all the way down into technology itself. Should you be choosing Ruby on Rails or Node or Android, or what do I think about Flutter or anything like that? I talk about all those topics. You can find my channel at donnfelker.com/YouTube. Again, that's donnfelker.com/YouTube. Now, Kaushik is just getting going with his YouTube endeavor, and he'll be talking about hardware, software, tech topics, programming, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff he's going to be chatting about as well. And you want to check out his channel at y.jkl.gg. Again, that's y.jkl.gg. We'll put both of these links into the show notes, so you can just click on the show notes and navigate over to our channels. And we hope to see you over there and hope you get something out of it. With that, let's get to the show. I just got home from the gym, and right before I hopped in the shower, I just kind of had this thing hit me. And it's an observation and an experience I wanted to share with you. Now, this is completely off the cuff. I didn't plan for this. Inspiration hit me about 45 seconds ago. I realized after years and years of saying, hey, that's a good idea, I'll do it later, that inspiration is perishable. I got that from Corey House. He said it to me over a video call one day. And that was 6 or 7 years ago. So here we are. Inspiration is hit. And if this message reaches one person out of everyone who listens, of the thousands of people who usually listen to this podcast every time we put out an episode, which again, I'm thankful for every single one of you. But if it just hits one of you and it makes a difference, then hey, it did its job. So that's why I'm putting this out. So what am I here to tell you? That you have to keep trying. That's literally at its core basic understanding, that you have to keep going, that as a developer or someone who wants to get into programming, you're going to run into situations where you just feel like the dumbest person in the world. And as someone with it's crazy to say this now, over 20 years of experience in the software industry, I never thought I would say that. I'm some guy who was a motorcycle mechanic and car mechanic and cabinet maker. And now I'm a software professional. And being in this industry for this long is crazy. And so for me, I understand this very well. Like I don't learn things quickly. People say, well, you might have written books or you've, spoken on stage or anything, but like none of that came easy. It was all a ton of work, and it's still a ton of work. I just maybe might see patterns now that help me learn things a little quicker, but still, I don't understand a lot of stuff. And it's very frustrating for me. It's very difficult for me to sit down and learn a new technology and not know how to do a stupid for loop over an array in a language I've never worked with. I have 20 years of experience, and I know how to do this, but I don't when I start something new. And the one thing I've realized is that I just can't give up, because I know eventually I will win. And it doesn't mean, win some huge financial reward, but it means that whatever I'm trying to learn, I'll get through it. I'll win in that regard. And the reason why we're on this podcast right now is because recently, I don't know what it is, but I've had a lot of people reach out to me through Twitter DMs and Instagram DMs and just ask me for advice on, hey, I'm trying to get started in the industry. Should I go mobile? Should I go web? Should I learn AI? Should I do ML? Which one's going to be the best for me? And I don't have the answer to that question. And I tell them that. I said, I don't know. You should just go with something that you find interesting. And then if that changes in 6 months, that changes in 6 months. The breadth of the software industry is so large that you can do anything. And usually after that question is, well, I'm not sure I'm smart enough to do that. I don't understand. I feel really dumb and I can't figure this out. And a lot of times I just want to quit. Well, here's the secret. I want to quit all the time. This is not easy. It's not easy at all. And to give you just a quick example, I've been using Tailwind CSS, which is a front-end CSS framework for the web, for a couple of years now. And just this morning, I was trying to get a nice little, I had this design in my head of I want on a larger screen, 3 divs should be equally spaced apart. But on smaller screens, they should stack. But inside of each one of those items, certain things should do certain things. And it's not complicated. This stuff happens all over the web every day. And I was trying to figure out how to do this with Flexbox and using the Flex utilities in Tailwind. And if you're not familiar with it, it's just CSS classes that are pre-built for you. And I have stumbled over this all morning long, trying to figure out why it works. And I'm going to tell you right now, I still don't have it figured out. I'm probably, 60 to 70% of the way there. And for someone who is really well-versed in Tailwind CSS, this is probably a 10-minute task for them. But for me, I'm going on 5 or 6 hours minimum of trying to figure this out. Now, I might have to do this another 5 or 6 times. I might spend 40 plus hours trying to figure this CSS thing out. But going forward, I'll have an example and I'll save it somewhere where I can reference it later. And what I'm trying to tell you is that none of this comes easy to everybody. Like even people who've been in the industry, who write books, who are on podcasts, who teach videos. I mean, hell, I have a 9-hour Kotlin course on how to learn the Kotlin programming language. And sometimes I forget stuff and I'll have to go Google it. And what pops up? One of my videos. Talk about a humbling experience when you're reminding yourself of how to do something. But I'm not embarrassed of that. That just is what it is. And I think that's important for everyone to know that you can't expect yourself to be an expert in everything. I am an expert in very few things. Some people might consider me an expert in some technologies, and even I still might not consider myself an expert in those, whatever those technologies might be. But the real thing that I want to get across here is that if you're in a situation where you feel like giving up, you feel dumb, you feel to the point of this is too hard for me, I'm not smart enough to do this. You are smart enough. You just have to just keep pushing. You're going to be, you're really having to work hard right now. This is a struggle. I know because I've been there and I'm still there. I'm there all the time. None of this is easy. I work with a lot of really, really intelligent people, my current client. People who are next, just light years ahead of everybody. And it's a very humbling experience. When I have conversations with these people, sometimes I feel like the biggest idiot in the world. And I have a lot of experience. So it happens to us all. And it's just something that's kind of a feeling you have to realize, like, all right, I know I don't understand this, but I know I can figure it out. And how do I figure it out? You have to understand how you learn. Are you a visual learner? Are you someone who likes to read, then watch a video, and then do it? Are you someone who can just hear it and do it? Are you someone who can just read a book and implement it? Everybody's different. For me, what I like to do is I like to go read about it a little bit, usually through a blog post. I want to know how to do something, the exact thing I want to do. And then I want to watch a video on it and I want to see how it's done. And then I like to follow along in my own project and kind of implement it. And then I like to set breakpoints or debuggers and change things and see what happens. And then I like to inspect it. And then I kind of start feeling like, all right, now what if I tweak this? And what if I tweak that? What happens? And that's how I learn. For me, that's how I learn. And that's exactly what I did this morning with this Tailwind CSS thing. I got it working somewhat. I mean, it looks kind of nice. It looks a lot better than it did before. But when I change the screen resolution, it looks like garbage. It looks terrible. I don't know what I need to do to fix it. What I learned is I need to relearn Tailwind's breakpoints, which are the media breakpoints, where the different size screen things, change. If it's a small, medium, large, extra large screen, then, different properties can apply. And I need to relearn those. I learned them a couple years ago, but I have forgot them. And that's, that is what it is. But the reason why we're here is because I'm getting a lot of these DMs. I'm more than normal. I used to get one every couple of months, and now it seems like I'm getting a few a week or multiple a week of like, hey, I don't know this. I'm not smart enough. And it's not just from people in the United States. There's people from all over the world, from the United States to Europe to Africa to Asia, Australia, all over the world. I'm getting these messages, and that's what I want to tell you all. If you're listening here to this short little podcast, is that you got this. You got it. You just have to trust yourself to keep learning. If you can't learn something and it doesn't make sense, you can't make it work the way you think it should work, try a different way. And maybe what you're going to find is by doing it this different way, you're going to learn like, oh, it exposes you to something you didn't see before, and you can kind of connect the dots on the other side. And that's what happens with me a lot of times. I'll learn a bunch about a certain way to do something in technology. I'll want to do it one way, it won't work, and I'll just kind of hack it together another way. And then I'll kind of see like, oh, if I take A and I put B together and I just kind of tweak it, oh, that's how they can connect. Now it makes sense. I was fighting the framework before. I need to just kind of go along with the conventions. But I wouldn't have learned that if I just gave up. And I think a lot of people just feel that they're not smart enough because they don't get it. But you throw me in, you tell me to go, hey, Donn, go write some Rust code. Like, I don't even know how to install it right now. I don't know. Donn, go run R. I don't even know what the syntax of R is. I don't know. There's so much out there. And so I like to call it, just-in-time learning. So, JIL, just-in-time learning. Like kind of missing the T there, but you get what I mean. Just in time. So whenever I need it, I learn it then. I've been using Tailwind for a couple years now, and a lot of times I'll just take some snippets from Tailwind UI or something I find online, and I can tweak it. But now I need something that's specific, and I can't find any examples online. So I'm having to do it myself. I know the framework can do it. I just need to learn it. It's frustrating. At times I procrastinate and I don't want to do it. I just want to give up and go do something else. I want to go for a walk. I want to go work out. I want to work on a different project. I want to do client work. I want to play a video game. I want to watch TV, hang out with my kids, play the piano, like anything but learn this thing, because it's so frustrating and difficult because it's just not clicking for me. So that happens to all of us. But you just got to keep with it, keep trying, and know that you will get through it. And each time you learn something, it's just going to help you grow a little bit more and a little bit more, and it's going to keep building. And it's like a snowball. It really is. One thing I learned from years ago from a really smart guy I worked with, as he told me, he's like, you know what? Try to learn one programming language a year. He goes, one programming language a year. He's like, you don't have to be a master at it. You don't have to be, a magician at the language, but just learn about it. Write a program in it, maybe a to-do app, or talk to an API in it. He goes, learn about the asynchronous nature of that stuff. He goes, you're going to understand and learn so much, and you're going to find out what all of the things in the language do. And then what you're going to end up finding is how these things relate to other languages. And then eventually, on your second, your third, maybe your fourth language, you're going to see like, oh, this language does the same thing as this. I wonder how I can do that. So, for example, maybe you're working in Kotlin and you're used to working with the null coalescing operator. If you're not sure what that is, take a look. It's a way to handle nulls a little, cleanly. And you're going to go work with another language, and you want to do that inside of JavaScript or Ruby. But now you can look up that, Ruby coalescing operator. Now you may not know what it is, or it may not even exist for the typical language, but now you at least know what to search for. And what I'm trying to say is that you're just building upon your knowledge. So anyway, I could keep going on and on about this, but I'm not. I need to go take a shower and get ready for some client work. But if you're in the situation where you're frustrated, you want to give up, you feel like throwing in the towel, you feel like this is not for you, don't do that yet. I've been there many times. I'm there all the time. I've learned to trust myself that I can get through it, and just know that you can do it too. Just keep trying. Ask for help online through forums like Stack Overflow. Find some online chats on various Discords of where you can ask questions. Don't ask people to do the work for you. Just say, hey, I'm having trouble here. I don't understand X. Can you help me understand it? People don't want to do the work for you. That's a quick way to have people not help you out. But if you're trying and you explain that you're having a difficulty understanding it, people are really apt to help you. So keep that in mind. Don't give up. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll catch you there. Thanks again for listening, everybody. We'll catch you in the next episode. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into this episode. We really appreciate it. Before we get going, wanted to let you know that we do share additional content that's not on this actual podcast. For example, I talk about software development and freelancing over on my YouTube channel, and that's at donnfelker.com/YouTube. And Kaushik recently started a channel, and he's going to be talking about hardware, software, programming, and much, much more. And you could check him out over at y.jkl.gg. Thanks again, folks. We hope to see you over there, and we'll catch you soon.
That's it for the show, folks. Fragmented is hosted by Donn Felker and me, Kaushik Gopal. We edit and produce all the episodes here on Fragmented. You can find more Fragmented episodes at fragmentedpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode.